Okay, so this was a deck that we tried during the donation stream, actually. The core of this was submitted by a viewer. We played a couple of games with it, and it seemed kind of sweet. So I'd like to play a few more games with it here today. This is basically a Menace aggro deck. So we've got Menace on Paladin, we've got Menace on Nullpriest, we've got Menace on Sedgemoor Witch. Nissa lands are 3/3s with Haste and Menace. And then we've got some evasive creatures at the top end of our curve here, and the spiders on Lolth are Menace, which are great. So the basic idea is that we're going to go wide a little bit with these creatures that demand a lot of blockers while applying pressure. We also have things like Skyclave Shade, as well as Hunt for Specimens. They're just good quality cards in general. You'll note that this deck doesn't have a ton of ways to trigger Sedgemoor Witch. We're largely just playing her because she's a good rate creature. Like a 3/2 Menace for 3 with the ward pay 3 life is very, very reasonable in terms of rate. And Hunt for Specimens still let us go wide with her on occasion, right? Because, like, if you Hunt for Specimens, then Pest Summoning with Sedgemoor Witch out, you end up with 5 tokens, which is a fairly wide state. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this one and see how it goes here today. Yes, Day 9 is a professional and puts all his reasonable stuff up on YouTube. If you haven't seen any decks with Paladin, you should check out the red-black mid-range deck we played a bit of at the start of the season. I like that one a lot. FYI, the only reason I sub to support the content is I continue to get stuff on YouTube. I'm an adult with real people hours and don't get to watch live terribly often. Yep. Thanks for the biddies and the support, Dr. Mister. Do we keep this? Think I'm gonna keep this? I think I might hear a child yelling for me. I'll be right back. Children, chat, children. I was correct that someone was calling for me, so I'm glad I went to go check. Listen, when you are 6 years old, everything that ever happens to you is the worst thing to ever happen to in your life, because there hasn't been a lot of things that have happened in your life. Hey, thanks, Televangelist. So I don't really want to trade this for this. I think we just pass. Anoma, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I'm going to say no blocks here with the Hunt for Specimens coming up. Let's attack with both of these. We just hit them. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so we'll go second witch, play a tap land. Got a shadow. Thanks for the follow. Good morning. Okay, so now we just go Hunt for Specimens into Necrotic Fumes. Crunch, crunch. That's true. The boys have been a little annoyed that we've been Christy and I have been hogging the Switches playing Pokemon Unite. I guess they could have a removal spell here. I'm just going to take 4. They double block here. They go to 1. Then we make some... We fix that by buying more switches. Yeah, I think we're going to end up getting at least a 3rd switch. But I think at this point we're just going to make do with 2 until the new hardware model comes out, since it's supposed to be a little bit faster. That's supposed to be coming in October. Well, I've got some Temples of Tilt, and we're on the draw again for the 2nd time. Nintendo confirmed it's the same hardware? Really? It's just a better screen? Oh, I might just try and get a 3rd one now then. It's kind of crappy. Okay, that brings this into play untapped now, which is nice. Honestly, a lot of their important cards cost 3+, so I think for the sake of resource efficiency, I'm just going to Bloodchief's Thirst this pup this turn. Thanks for the link. I'll check that out after today. For the follow Mike 54. I think I ducked out of the room when he did that one. Well, it has a better battery. That might still be worthwhile. Christy plays it in handheld mode fairly often. Alright, are we hunting for specimens this turn? It's weird that they didn't level Ranger class. Did they just forget about it? They're holding something up. I just grab, like, Necrotic Fumes here. Maybe they missed it with sorcery speed. Yeah, that could definitely be the case. Yeah, I think they just missed it. So, Necrotic Fumes does exile here, which is nice. And unfortunately, we showed this bug the other day. I'm clicking on the non-foil pest, but it always selects the top pest on the stack. So it doesn't give me the option to sacrifice the ugly pest. It's a big sad chat. Oh, they have Snake Skin Veil they were holding up. That makes sense. Okay, so they didn't miss it. They just wanted to do that. That makes sense. Alright, so we're going to cash in the Pest for a gain 4 here. I'm going to try and win this race. Not drawing a land, an untapped land here is pretty rough. Alright, so what happens if they fire up a layer of the Hydra and attack with everything next turn if I attack with these? I block layer, and then I take lethal, so I need to hold the Paladin back because the center's tapped. The problem is if I hold this back, or if I hold both of these back, yeah, I just think we're just dead here because I didn't draw the land. You want to get environmental sciences? Yeah, I guess that's probably the play. Feels bad, man. It's not a play I'm happy to make, but it's the play. Makes us a bunch of friends and gains us some life. Oh, thanks for the 22 months Swallow Baggin. We've died, chat.
I'm hungry. Aren't I generous?
Raging Little Psycho. Ah, descriptive Twitch usernames. So the Old Growth Trolls a 10/10 Trampler at this point. So yeah, with the amount of stuff we have to stack on that, I assume we're done. We'll see how they attack. It seems like it's rare that Dracolich aligns with what this deck wants to do. Can you describe to me what you think this deck wants to do if you don't think a 5/2 evasive creature aligns with it? Yeah, then even if I do all these here, right? Good game, opponent. They probably have creatures on top of their deck. They wanted to be able to cast just in case I have something. I mean, like, I know that game it looked bad because my opponent had... because we were on the draw, my proactive card looked bad, but that's just how Magic works. I agree with you that if I was playing best of 3, I'd probably board it out in that matchup. But it's probably very good in things like the Goldspan Dragon and the controlling matchups, for example. Oh, and that's with only 2 lands. It's technically has 3. I don't think Plumb the Forbidden is a playable Magic the Gathering card. Plumb the Forbidden is a very common trap card where it's got a really big flashy effect, so people like to play it because when it's good, it's amazing, but the average case scenario for it is really mediocre and worse than a lot of other cards you could be playing. I think in a format like this where both, Village Rites and the one that makes a treasure are available, either of those other two are better most of the time. Tire Seas, thanks for the quarter of year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Double Strike. Deadly Dispute, that's the one, yep. Oh wait, this is Double Strike. That's fine, it'll come back later. Obviously a mistake. Wow, that's kind of terrifying.
You will not delay Zendikar's convalescence. The swamps come to my aid.
Distraction, Planeswalker, go! Hey, Dargaz, thanks for subbing a bunch of months in advance. I appreciate the support. I would happily take a Bard donation again, but I also make you aware that we have played that before, and it felt reasonable. We played Naya Legends on Stream Gun 3, if you haven't seen it. So I would happily take a run back of something like that. Yeah, we're super dead. There's a chance that our current deck is not very good yet, and we're not going to play it for very long. And maybe we'll play the other deck we had up for voting. This might be one that remains in the bowels of Twitch and doesn't make it to YouTube. Being on the draw every single game hasn't helped. Twitch does not allow me to email my subscribers directly. If you want to take a second to participate in the subscriber survey, you need to join the Discord server and get the link from there. So, people suggesting, are we better as black-white? I think at that point, you're just a worse version of the black-white mid-range decks. When did that change? 2 or 3 months ago, they took away that ability? I mean, I think, like Televangelist, I think your assessment there is kind of bad and off. This deck feels like if you draw the wrong half, you're in a bad spot. I mean, like, we've been on the draw every game, and I've missed land drops in multiple of them. So, like, you know, take your anecdote with a grain of salt. Good luck in the last sprint to your ladder today, Dargas. Good games. Or good game. We play best of one in this format. You notice a drop in participation after the policy switch from Twitch. I have, yeah. In fact, I'm going to needle my Twitch rep to try and find out if they have... if they're planning to bring that back sometime soon. Message her now. So, apparently I need to actually update the Discord page on my website. Someone mentioned the other day that Discord lets you link accounts on mobile now. I'm gonna write a note down to remind me to check that.
I will show you what we will slay our enemies.
Twitch removed the ability to email your subscribers as a Twitch streamer several months ago because certain streamers were abusing the privilege of doing so. And instead of just punishing the individuals abusing it, they took it away from everybody.
Do what I demand.
Well, I don't have an actual confirmation from somebody at Twitch telling me this. I would wager large amounts of money the people that got that thing taken away were because they were promoting other things like Patreon and OnlyFans to their Twitch subs, trying to take their money off platform. So I don't think it was just an OnlyFans thing. I would wager it had to do with things like Patreon too. But I would bet they were soliciting people to spend money on other platforms via that feature. Yeah, it could have had to do with cryptocurrency too. That would not surprise me. There are a lot of Twitch streamers pushing cryptocurrency scams in recent memory. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, chat. All of the cryptocurrency things are scams.
Are you enraptured by my beauty? Subservience will be rewarded.
Subservience will be rewarded. Nice. Okay, so hunt for specimens lets us exile this so they can't get her back with blood on the snow, which is nice. Aren't most currencies a scam if you think about it? Comments like that are a cop-out. You're right that people do bad things with regular currency too, but don't actually stop it. There's a fundamental difference in the way those things are happening, and normal currencies don't get stood up constantly with the express purpose of scamming people.
And I, the generous one.
Oh, I always forget this can kill planeswalkers. Tricky. Oh, should there be a... Do I have a Confront the Past in my board? Damn it, Past Jeff. Alright, we need to Confront the Past in the sideboard, chat. Stupid Past Jeff. You cannot reanimate planeswalkers with this. Past Jeff is the worst, chat. Alright, and then next turn, we just, like, ship in with a bunch of menace creatures in this. Oh, Skullport sacks these to kill my paladin. Rude. A lot of cards. Yeah, the fact that
Witherbloom is just as dark and you'll learn the power of death.
I have lethal here, right? Yeah, I think we need to kill her.
Fine. I'm taking the day off.
Another Poison the Cup here as a foretell card. Really weird that we killed my one that comes back instead of the spirit token. I think you probably don't want more than like 4 lessons in the average best of 3 deck. They can activate Faceless Save in here, so I don't really have very good attacks. Might have been wrong to kick this. Might have been right to like do this and then kick this. Just because like this still trades with Faceless Save in, even when it's kicked. This is a nice draw, because now I can pressure with the Spirit as well. Got him. We'll see if they want to trade with Faceless Save it or make me spend mana to pump this against the 1/4. I kind of wager with the second Faceless Save and they'll probably fire it up and trade. Really? Okay. Seems good for us. Welcome back, Penguin. Fortunately, we're short on kicking this again, but I think that's a worthwhile exchange. Just want to get as much value as possible out of all my cards.
New job, new life.
Drawing is aggressive here.
There has to be an answer here.
So, they're dead? Billy Zane Jr., thank you for the 29 months. Welcome back. See, chat, Nissa's on the scoreboard. Nissa's on the scoreboard. Let's get a Confront the Past in our sideboard, though. Been in a little bit better spot on that game if we had been able to Confront the Past. I mean, we had a lot of really good fair Nissa designs for a long time. MTG Goldfish has been the best for spoilers in my experience so far, but they also miss things pretty consistently. The spoiler season's just been a cluster. It's for the 2/3 of a year sidetrack. Welcome back. good games and some Unite this weekend. Sorry we got trashed a little bit. I might have spent enough time beating up to lose from veteran or was it veteran or expert? Yeah, from veteran 4 all the way back down to expert yesterday. It's a brutal session. None of the breaks went right. Okay, so probably the blue-green ramp deck. I think we just want to get the pressure on here. It's probably going to be a discard spell this game. I think we're going to go ahead and just go Paladin into another Nullpriest here. Just get 5 power into play. Untapped land would be nice. Is Pelakka a land or a spell this game? I'm actually not sure. I think it might be a spell. Their deck has a lot of big bomby things I wouldn't mind discarding. The bounce spell here, or what's the deal? I grab Necrotic Fumes here, I think. I think this is the gold one. No, oh, it is the blue switch. Look at that. Go get him. Graven Lore. This seems like it bodes well for us. Only got a Scry 2 as well. We have 2 switches in our house, and they're color-coded on the back of them with small stickers. So that way we know which Pro controllers are paired to which switches, and which switches have which save files on them. Please concede. That's a lethal. We are considering getting a 3rd switch. Since Pokemon Unite happened, Christy and I have been hogging them a little bit more. So, I think we're probably going to be looking into getting a 3rd switch when the budget allows. Nah, we'll probably just get another one. Another regular one. The boys like playing on the TV. I also wouldn't mind having a 3rd dock, because I want to keep a dock at my office for content purposes. So, like, have a dock down here and a dock on the upstairs TV, and then one in my office I can keep. I think with this Hand in the Dark, this is a land. You go this, 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 and then we have 4 lands guaranteed for this. It's really funny to me hearing... I'm going to have to make a video talking about the Unite monetization, because the Unite monetization is very reasonable, especially as someone who's used to Magic the Gathering. I think I think a lot of people who have been complaining about it don't actually understand what's going on or what things actually cost, which is one of the biggest downsides to predatory monetization, like Unite and Arena have, is the actual cost of what's going on is obfuscated and unclear. Aren't you able to essentially purchase temporary buffs? No. There are held items in the game that you put up to 3 on a Pokemon that you level up, that you can pay money to get leveled quicker rather than grinding. Like every free-to-play game, you can pay to skip grind, but there's no premium-only currency, and there's no temporary items that you pay for boosts. 30 is the max level. So the item bonus maxes out at 20, but you can push from 20 to 30 to get a very minimal stat increase past that. Yeah, it's pay for progression. It's like all of these games, you pay for progression, you don't pay for. Believe it or not, chat, we won the die roll this time, but we don't have spells. It's a hard knock life. No, you literally just play the game to earn stuff, Marooner. So if you like the game, you're literally just we're super dead here. You're literally just playing the game to unlock stuff. The part that people dislike about the Unite items that makes them expensive is to get an item to 90% efficiency costs like $6 or $7. And to get that last 10% of efficiency costs like an extra $25. So the last 10 levels cost more than the first 20. But the last 10 levels only add like 10% efficiency or so to the items. But if you wanted to be fully competitive and max everything from the start, it's about $100. Because you need 3 items max. It's a small hedge, yeah. It's like 10% or less, depending on which items you're using. For Grawl Aggro in Standard 22, thanks Cheetos, I appreciate the bits. Would you like that up tomorrow or a particular other day this week? Let me know. This could be a sod coming. Frostbiting that one. Deal. Sure. This is a good example of, you know, Witch just being pretty reasonable on her own here. I think I Pelakka to spot check for Goldspan next turn. It's a little sad that I don't have any pressure here, but yeah, getting rid of this before it comes down is a pretty big deal. As always, I see folks chatting about spoilers from Horizon stuff. Jumpstart and Dark Horizons. We'll be taking a peek at those together on stream. Excuse me, probably about half an hour at the end of the content today. Skyclave Shade's pretty good in these grindier matchups. I don't think they usually play Sweeper, so I'm just going to ship my stuff in here. Aether Vial would be fine in Historic. I hope we get it too. You have K Command, Prismari Command, Abrade. You have a lot of good main deckable ways to kill artifacts. There's some birds, chat. Okay. I mean, like, them spending a Prismari command like this is technically card disadvantage. They're spending a card to draw 2, discard 2, so things considered, this exchange is pretty okay. And we're in a spot where, like, even drawing lands is decent here because it brings back the Skyclave Shade, so honestly, Eye of the creature land's probably one of our best draws here. This Twitch stream is pre-recorded in front of a live studio audience. Yeah, I agree, Mike. And actually, just to be clear, I actually think things like, regular Time Warp is pretty okay. I think Aldrune's Epiphany specifically tends to be offensive because it gets around a lot of the normal drawbacks turn spells tend to have. Skyclave Shade really getting to flex here. Honestly, the fact that we spot check to take the Goldspan Dragon, Pelakka Caverns, Pelakka Predation here, kind of the reason we're in this game, huh? Being able to take their threat away. Just gonna hold this land in hand. We're gonna pass here. We'll end step the Dracolith on their turn. You don't think you've ever seen that one before? Yeah, I like it a lot. I'd be surprised if this doesn't see some amount of play. Like taking things that cost 3 or more is very reasonable in a lot of these matchups. Yeah, and honestly, that's the way to think about it, right? This is basically a 0 mana spell, is the correct way you need to approach it. It is a 0 mana make 2 birds draw a card. It just, like, has the condition you need to be at 6 lands or 7 lands to do it. I mean, Nexus was more obnoxious, and that wasn't particularly close. But it's also one of those things where, like, we don't really need to race how bad things are. They can both be bad. That is quite a bit, Draken. Thank you for the tier 3 and for the 33 months. Welcome back. Okay, so I think we start with Bloodchief's Thirst on a bird here, because I think there's a good chance one of these is a counterspell, so I don't want to kick this trying to kill this. I think they need to counterspell it on just a bird. They didn't counterspell it on a bird, huh? Are you just like fire up the Hive and crack in here now? Nice, they're just dead. Sweet. Those must have just been more turn spells, huh? I like how Magic players love to describe everything as time walk, but time walks get described as literally anything else. It's true, you know. This hand's very good, but it might be one where we're just too slow on the drop. We'll see what they're doing. Alright, turn one play is a good start. I think discussing stuff like that, Thoughtseize Bug, really isn't relevant, because it's just like they're not going to rebalance the card. I'm going to grab Environmental Science here as an effort to not miss our land drops. Yeah, I don't know how we ever win a game like this on the draw. Just so far behind. Alright, that's probably a start. It means I have to cast my spells here before I cast Sedgemoor Witch, but it means I don't get to draw 2 cards next turn. I mean, this card's a lot better than 2 mana 3/3 by a wide margin. Yeah, maybe. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, Dr. Mister. This card's so bad on defense. Think this Pest is a gain 5? Mana plays are just so slow here. Do we die through these blockers because of the trample? I don't think so. If we get to trade off some boards here, there's always a fucking Blizzard Brawl, chat. There's always a Blizzard Brawl. Ugh. Green Doomblade is so busted. Yeah, we're dead. I refuse to read Blizzard Brawl. I just know it kills one of my things. I think my favorite Watch Wolf ever printed is probably Fleecemane Lion. I like the design on that one a lot. Doomblade just means it's a removal spell, something that kills something. Doomblade's an actual, come on, Magic Zoomer, Doomblade's legal on Arena. It was in the archives. You should understand my Doomblade references. Am I out of touch? No, it is the children who are wrong. I like the Fleecemane Lion format. Spent a lot of time playing, what was that Naya deck? I'm blanking on its name. There was a Naya combat trick deck that I played a bunch during that format. I also played a lot of bad Sylvan Kyrian and mid-range decks. Alright, chat. We're the bad guy. Let's take away your wild mage. Ooh. Okay, so they're playing a controlling build. Ton of interaction here. Naya heroic. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was the boss Sly format. Back when you had to build your own Embercleave with Teamer Battle Rage and become immense. No, I might be mixing up formats now. Yeah, unlike Feather, the Naya Combat Trick deck was playable then, though, Wargy. That's the big difference. Listen to us reminiscing about times past. I think we play Lolth. I guess they have a hard time killing this. Alright, so they're gonna kick the Cinderclasm. And we'll play this and make some spiders.
You could have such power. I will cull the weak.
Cull the weak. I mean, like, the brutal honest truth about whatever your pet deck is in Historic is that if you're having fun playing it, you should enjoy playing your pet deck. But if your pet deck isn't posting results at tournaments in that format, your pet deck's not good. Don't let what decks are good dictate your enjoyment of the game and play things you like, but if it's not putting up results, it's not great. It is incredibly rare that there is something that exists in a format that hasn't been found yet. Alright, opponent's going for it. Swing and a miss, chat. Swing and a miss. Ask Kiki. So, oh, because it is Menace. They get to try again next turn. That's cute. For the record, I would like the record to reflect. Kiki Court has posted multiple top 8s in the modern challenges at the hands of someone else playing it. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I tell you I think Kiki Court's very reasonable in modern right now. Because there are people not named Jeff Hoagland doing well with it. Oh no! We're gonna get memed, chat. We're dead, fam. Oh no! Oh. Get all these nat 20s. Alright, they're pretty unlikely to brick from here. I want to watch the dice go across the screen, though. Yay! I appreciate that extra animation detail went into putting dice fully across the screen. I like it. This thing that wasn't very likely to happen. The greatest con I will ever pull in my life, Andrew, is convincing professional Magic players to play Kiki Court during Eldrazi Winter. It's quite possibly one of the greatest cons anybody has ever pulled. People registered Kiki Court at the Eldrazi PT. Secret, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. That wasn't the land I wanted for Christmas. No, that's supposed to be my grindy card in this matchup. I wonder if because I was missing the land, I was supposed to do this last turn for Sciences. Wasn't that the PT where people rooting for... Yes, Affinity was the good guy. Right on time, land drop. Welcome to the party. You see, Eldrazi Winter was the most oppressive meta in Magic the Gathering's history. I don't know. Hagak was probably worse. I feel like Hagak was probably worse. Oh, Cawblade. I wasn't playing competitively during Cawblade. I forget about that one.
I am Zendikar's one true guardian.
Zendikar's one true guardian.
The land is savage and defiant.
Jareth, you've ruined my boomer streak of not knowing new Pokemon names or MOBA words. I hope you're pleased with yourself. Thanks for the tier 2 and welcome back. Yes, they were all worse than Uro, I think. For sure. The Sphinx, thanks for the 23 months. Welcome back. So if they have Kaya to exile Nissa, woo! Nissa's blood is on the snow, chat. It's definitely a top 5, Andrew. I'm gonna do this and push damage this turn. Might be right to save this for a Planeswalker. Yeah, I mean, like, so, again, just to be pointed, you need to be good with this deck to win with it. What that generally means is this deck sucks, but if you've played it enough to play really good Magic with it, you can win with it despite the fact that it sucks. And that's okay. It's okay to, like, beat people up with a deck that's not very good because you love it, you know the ins and outs, you know the matchup's better than them. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So they get to gain some life here. Isn't that like any deck? No, not strictly. There is definitely something to be said about the value of knowing how matchups work. In general, though. Alright, kick it. Alright, so we'll have 8 mana next turn, which means if the Forsworn Paladin lives, we can attack with the Hive plus, well, shit.
Hunt one more monster. How hard could it be? That wasn't
There
even
is nothing wrong with enjoying playing net decks. One of the great things about a game like Magic is how many different things it can be to different people. And some people really enjoy the deck building aspect of a game like Magic, and other people really like the actual playing and executing the decks. The only people that are wrong in those instances are the stuck-up idiots in whatever subreddit you're reading that are going to tell you that you're wrong for copying a list off the internet. People that complain about net decking are people that are using a justification, are people that are seeking a justification for why they lost other than their play was bad or their deck building was bad. The blunt, honest truth is, if a deck you've built has never become a net deck, you're very likely not a good deck builder. Because good deck builders will have their decks become popular because they'll actually be good. And it's, Magic's a very intellectual game for a lot of people. So, by writing someone off as oh, they just won because they're a net decker, that's someone saving their ego because they didn't really lose. They only lost because it was unfair, because their opponent was a net decker. They weren't playing on a fair playing field. We're at the rank floor. I'm just going to concede to this deck on the draw. I'm just never going to win. Clearly, you haven't watched the TCG docu-series Yu-Gi-Oh! Where a small up-and-comer wins with an unknown deck created by his grandfather. What's the most broken set in the history of Magic? Throne of Eldraine. Full stop. You lived it. That recency bias, legitimate. Look at the impact of Eldraine across every format in terms of, you know, Bone Crusher Giants and Brazen Borrowers popping up, Fires of Inventions, Okos, like. Alpha had a couple of designs that stand out with things like Moxen, but Moxen, I think there's a difference between something like Mox and something like what happened with Eldraine. The Mox were created in a different time period where we didn't have good basis for game design, and Richard Garfield didn't really know what he was creating fully. Also, Richard Garfield wasn't This is how pure Garfield was when he was creating Magic. When Richard Garfield created things like Mox and Time Walk, he expected a balancing mechanic for Magic in terms of power level to be card availability and accessibility. So he didn't originally intend rarity from a loot box perspective. He intended it to be a balancing mechanic for the game that he was creating. That's why there wasn't a 4 of card rule initially. He wasn't expecting people to min-max their decks. Yeah, alright, let's look at some spoilers. This deck's been bad. So, to talk about why this deck was bad and think about maybe ways we could change it, I don't know. I think there's a chance, come on server, I think there's a chance that something like this could be okay in best of 3, but I feel like this kind of black aggro-y deck just can't keep up in the current format where there's so many aggro decks. The power level of the power of a deck of this style in Magic, traditionally speaking, tends to lean on its ability post-board against creature decks to have better interaction against them. And honestly, that's probably just not something you need in this current format, where green aggro decks have access to Blizzard Brawl, right? We call that cheap Doomblade effect. I think at a minimum, the Dragon and the Regent need to go away, and we need to play some more cheap removal at the bottom end to maybe have a chance. But I think even having 4 pieces of cheap spot removal, this is probably just going to get run over basically every time it's on the draw. And even when you're on the play, I don't think you're going to be enough of a slam dunk on the play to make up for the fact that you're always going to get butchered on the draw without a sideboard in the aggro matchup. So I think this one felt like a bit of a miss for me. I'm glad we tried it, but, you know, maybe there'll be something for this one in the future. But definitely wasn't this one.